Howdy. Good evening, good night, whatever you want to call it. Good evening. How's it going? Crazy night last night, wasn't it? So, where do we begin? Where do we begin? I don't know. Last night was crazy. If you missed it, well, if you missed it last night, I'm guessing you caught it on the replay. It was crazy because someone, you can kind of say someone snapped and finally said what many people have always been thinking, something that many people wanted to say, perhaps. And I'm not going to say, people don't have the balls or whatever. I'm not even going to say that. And it's not in a lot of people's nature to do that. And I'm not faulting Elizabeth at all. She had that on her mind for a while. She had to. And the opportunity finally came, and she just blah. And I don't blame her for it. Yesterday I applauded her. We did. A lot of people did, right? We were like, yes, finally. And Vanessa had her reasons for letting her on and not hanging up on her. I was waiting for Vanessa to just cut the live video, but she never did. Of all the people that she invites and doesn't let speak, it's like, why this time? Why not cut her off right today or that night? But who knows how her mind thinks. So this young lady goes on, and then Vanessa started to pull the old, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything. Which we know was a lie. And if she couldn't hear anything, it's because she turned the volume down herself. So if that's the case, maybe she didn't hear. But I don't think that's the case. Because I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. You didn't see me. I know you saw me pump my fists and all this and that, but in my head, I just kept saying, yes, finally, yes. Somebody went there, and she let them go there. Who knows how Vanessa thinks? I don't know. And then afterwards, we thought, well, this is her way of showing proof, right? See, people are abusive to me. People hate me. I'm hated. See, you see. Like, if they only knew. So Vanessa went live today kind of to talk about that. If you haven't seen, I haven't seen the whole thing. I saw a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. I'm at work all day long. I just got home, literally just got home. That's why I was a few minutes late, so I apologize. So I'd like to hear what she's got to say. I'm sure you all do. Maybe you did. Some of you did catch it. So I say let's get to it, and then we'll keep talking. We will keep talking. We'll keep having this discussion. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's late. It's going to be like this for a while. It's going to be 10:30 chats for most of November. All right. On my days off, I'll go earlier. But I do appreciate you all being here. So I've got the video. Let me cue it up here. Bear with me for a moment. And I called it damage control because that's what she was doing. Damage control. And what time was this? I'm not sure. This was does somebody know what time was this? After 12 o'clock, midday, something like that. Good evening, everyone from the UK. Welcome. What is it? 3:45 over there, something like that. Midday, mid-afternoon for you. Thank you. All right, let's hear what she's got to say, and we'll just take it from there.
So hot.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I'm not doing the music bit.
I love that band. Hello, hello. This is Vanessa Tijerina coming at you live. I just saw a young man. There's a young man on a bicycle just right now, maybe 10 or 11 years old, and he had a cap. And I guess he saw I was a woman, and he tipped his cap. Somebody raised him with those kind of values. I never see that. And it just barely happened right now. How's everyone doing? Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Let me get up.
I don't know if I should comment throughout the video or just wait till the end. It's not a long video. I think it was 30 minutes, roughly. Okay, we'll see.
Here real quick. Hi there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Remember, for those of you
I just wanted
who
to
don't
clarify some things.
Oh, well,
hello, this is Vanessa Tijerina.
What she wants to clarify.
Coming at you live here in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. I just wanted y'all to know, I mentioned some things later, yesterday. You all saw me, I'm going to ignore all the hate, by the way. You all saw me when I was eating my grilled cheese from Starbucks, right? And during that live video, somebody mentioned, it was a man, right? And he mentioned OnlyFans. And I gave my answer to that, right? And I was being pretty facetious.
I'm surprised that after that wreck of a show that she invited somebody live, a wreck for herself, that she wants to not even, that's not the first thing that she wants to talk about. That was the biggest event yesterday. Forget about the Starbucks or only whatever. This thing ruled. And she wants to not talk about that first. She wants to talk about something else, and like it didn't exist, like it doesn't bother her. I know she's trying hard. Yeah, and and if you're thinking that about me, yes, I got no sympathy. Maybe a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. There were a couple things that I was like, ouch. But that's it. That's it.
And I basically stated, I used the opportunity, since it was brought up, to state that if I were to get an OnlyFans, when my nursing license was removed after, or revoked after so many complaints, the point was, no, my nursing license is in no danger of being revoked, like at all.
Okay.
At all. Right? It has no disciplines or anything like that. But the thing is that I have a very hateful man, and a lot of you that have been following me, it was a white hateful man that had the nerve to actually come up to my window right here and harass me and stalk me. And that hateful man is...
See, for some of you that were Vanessa followers and you're here, thanks for being here, but this is what, one of the lies. Just real quick, if you don't know the story, she was at a restaurant called Stars, which is like a Sonic. And she invited everybody, hey, you want to meet me? Because she was running for public office, some kind of office, some kind of political seat. You want to meet me? Is it like a meet and greet? Yeah, I'll give you my autograph. I'll sign my flyer and all this stuff. And she chose to do it where this gentleman lives. That's where she went to do it. So I don't think anybody showed up except him. And he showed up. And she didn't even know who he was. She was like, you look familiar. It's like, come on. If you knew who he was, you would know. If you don't, you don't. And he did laugh, and he was crazy. It lasted, 10 seconds. But ever since then, he's a stalker. And she invited the public to meet her. That's what it was.
Is on hate pages right now, giving the impression, saying Vanessa Tejera is saying that she's gonna lose her nursing license. No, I didn't say that. I said if that were ever to basically happen, right, it'd be the fault of all these people trying to do this to me and trying to destroy me, right? But no, don't y'all. And the reason that I do that is because I've had several people that care about me ask me about that, and it's like, y'all should know already that man will say anything. Remember, this is the same man that posted up a selfie of a poor woman who was not me, but was my complexion, had glasses like me, was hiding her face, the majority of her face with her phone, took a mirror selfie, and it was a nude. He posted it and giving the impression that that was me. It's that.
From my understanding, that photo of her in a hot tub or jacuzzi, whatever you want to call it, I think it was a whirlpool tub or something. I believe her tattoos back there match. I believe it was a tattoo visible, and she's got a tattoo. What do you call them? They're affectionately called a tramp stamp, right? So he didn't create it. He didn't make it. He didn't Photoshop it. It's out there.
Same man. It's the same man that, you know, and some people would probably ask, well, what'd you do to him? That was my point in letting that woman come at me last night, is to prove to everybody. I was like, really quickly, I was thinking to myself, as I was thinking, should I let this hater come live and stay quiet and let her do everything she's going to do? Because I knew that she was never going to be quiet, right? And I knew that because she was never going to be quiet, she was going to get the impression that she could say whatever she wanted. And of course she did. I needed that to happen. Because in the same way that people were to ask me, well, what did you do to that man? Or what happened between you and that man? Nothing. He is a stranger to me. He became obsessed with me. He became obsessed with destroying me for his own evil motives.
Bullshit lie. Bullshit. I know that's the picture she wants to paint, but that's just so not true. Oh, God. Anyway, his name is John Allen. He's a military veteran, decorated. He's a hero for an event that almost happened. Well, I guess happened. There was a potential for a mass shooting here at the Walmart in Mercedes, right? Mercedes, or Weslaco. I'm sorry, Weslaco, I think. And he prevented it. He stopped it. I'll bring him back once he's got some legal things going on, which are going to clear up pretty soon. And I've had him on here before. He agreed to come back and tell that story again for a lot of you who haven't heard it. But he saved a lot of people that day. He really did save a lot of people that day. You can't say he did not. The young man ended up going down anyway, but at least he helped prevent something that would have been very ugly for this area. Okay, let me let her keep going here.
Destroying me for his own evil motives. And he has justified those attempts at destruction of my life with his own evil rationale. In other words, these people truly have that much hate towards me.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to keep stopping this thing. Obviously, that's going to be her thing. She's got to emphasize. She's trying to set this all up that there's big hate for her. That's what she's doing. Because what does that situation have to do with what happened last night? Absolutely nothing. But she wants to build on the hate, right?
Without knowing me. And people would assume, oh no, that much hate has to be personal. No, that they made it personal. You see, those kind of evil people will be that evil because they're that evil. That is a high degree of hate. That's why one of the people that hates me tried to imply to you whenever, because there's another one that yells and is just as bad as the one from last night. However, that one lives within close proximity of me. That one I will always believe had everything to do with my beating, right? But for whatever reasons, right, everybody that is opposed against me in positions of law, right, they are helping that woman, right? All of that is my opinion, and no one will ever move me from it, ever. And the people in my small town and my county know exactly that I am absolutely logical in believing that.
She's right about that. She will not budge from that, no matter the evidence or what. She will not budge from that. You could show her a videotape of, the previous 1 year of John's life recorded 24/7 to show he had nothing to do with it, but she will still say he had something to do with it. He is a hero. She's insinuating that he planned this all out and paid money to these people. Oh, God. I'll let her keep on with this.
Right? Unless you live where I live, and unless you know the people that are involved, and unless you understand the people that are in power and everything that they've done, then looking at this from the outside, you will not understand it. Right? But what matters to me is that when my story is out there, it will become a whole lot more clear to people. So in the...
And just so you know what she's after, I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to interrupt so much. Just so you know what she's after, shortly after this happened, she did a press release. And it's not a big deal because anybody can do a press release. You can just go and sign up, pay a couple $100 and you type whatever you want. And then they send it out. It goes out automatically to all the news agencies, depending on how much you pay and what kind of plan you have, whatever. So she wrote her own press release, sent it out to everywhere, ABC, NBC, CNN. I mean, all the news networks, big and small in the country. And it made it to Nancy Grace, even. So if that doesn't tell you what she's looking for, that's what she's looking for. There's no way to not think that's what she's looking for.
Looking at this from the outside, you will not understand it, right? But what matters to me is that when my story is out there, it will become a whole lot more clear to people. So in the same way that woman was trying to make it seem like, no, this hate, no, we were once friends. No, we were not. We were never friends. I never knew you.
So she's talking about a lady who runs another page, Peacocks United. And they got a history. They go back a bit. There's no love there. So let's hear what she's got to say.
I had a conversation with you. I never shared oxygen with you. No. Because she understands that to manipulate the public into thinking my level of hate, which was demonstrated last night in another individual towards me, she understands that to convince the public that her level of hate, which was exactly like last night's in another human, is justified because of a personal connection, that's sometimes the way that strangers look at this dynamic. Many of y'all last night, I saw the comments, asked, how does she know you? That's the point. She doesn't. She doesn't. That is a human who is a stranger to me, who wants my face bashed in, destroyed, permanently disfigured, wants everything about me to not exist, and if it exists, it needs to exist in the worst possible way when people think of my name.
Another lie. There's no love lost between the two. However, and this goes for anybody that she accuses, nobody wants her in that condition, like she just stated. Pretty much saying that they want her unalive. That's just not the case. That's never been brought up. serious accusations that this one is making.
That's the level of hate that I deal with. And there was no better way for me to exemplify that, or for it to be demonstrative, other than having someone hateful like that display themselves, which she did. That's what I'm dealing with.
That's what she's dealing with in her head.
No one, unless they see it, nobody will believe it. No one will believe it.
Because it doesn't exist. Nobody has to believe it because it doesn't exist. And you know how this doesn't exist? You know why? You know how you can tell? Because all these people she's got watching her, she doesn't want them talking or watching my page or the other pages, Ultimate Deception, No More Cheeseke's Lies, No More Cheeseman was the original page. She doesn't want anybody watching any of those. And the second she knows that you do, she will cut you off and you're done. Because they all are going to show the same thing that I talk to you about every day. That's why she's got to get new viewers all the time. Because they don't know the past. All they know is that she's a victim. They beat her up one day. They're out to get her. She's a victim. She's the most hated person in the world. But they don't know why, or nobody even bothers to dig in a little further back and go, why? Why this? What's the story here? So there's a few that ask and they question, and then she cuts them off. And eventually they end up seeing the light, and they come to my page or one of the other pages, and they get to see what really, really, really happened. But that's why she's got to have new viewers all the time, because they don't know what happened. Only what she tells them from that point forward.
Nobody will. So this video was for two things: to let you know nobody should be listening to a man and a woman that hates a woman that they do not know, because those people do not know me. And it is like the saying goes, when somebody hates a woman that bad, you can most likely assume that it is a man that can never have her, and it is a woman that can never be her. And in my case, I think that it is also a man that not only can never have me, but can never be me. Because, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for me, and sometimes I guess it is unfortunate because of the way that people take it and they don't like it, they do not like to see a woman with a certain level of masculinity that makes them feel emasculated. That's the way the universe created me, and there's nothing that I can do about it.
I'll just play some more.
Absolutely nothing that I can do about it. I don't know what else to say. Right? But yeah. I'll park right now.
Exactly. Peacocks United, this is that's them right there. Yeah, and I don't have any intention of being her either. Nobody wants to be like her. Nobody. So I don't know where she gets this from. I mean, she's got to make all this crap up. I don't know. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
No. Hi there, Michelle. But I found it, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that there was people that said, how does she know you? That's the point. She does not know who I am. She does not know who I am. And I'm sure some people would be so surprised, like, how can somebody be so hated just on sight? And the reason that you all watching are surprised and assume they must know you is because you all don't hate me the way that they hate me. And you all cannot understand somebody hating another individual to that degree of evil unless it's personal. You know how sometimes you'll see murder mysteries, things like that, and you'll see things indicative of something very, very personal, like a woman being stabbed, like a woman being shot once versus and dying from her injuries versus a woman being stabbed 200 times, right? Just as an example. You're able to, when you're in that kind of, when that is your job, right, to figure out what happened to this woman, that is something that you would assume would be very personal. Because choosing to stab somebody 200 plus times is a very personal thing, right? It's the same thing as when people look at the situation with me and they're like, why do these people hate her so much? Do you all think that I'm that popular that I know some random person from another part of Texas? No. That is how bad the hate is. Me just being me triggers people to be that evil. And I've already accepted.
You see how crazy this is? Her just being her triggers people to be evil. Yeah.
I'm not going to go into hiding. I'm not going to stop existing. I'm not going to dim my light.
You hide every day. You stay in your car. You don't go anywhere.
To make people like that woman last night feel comfortable existing. Because I made her feel very uncomfortable existing, and her whole display last night let everybody know how uncomfortable. My freckles made her uncomfortable.
She looked pretty comfortable to me.
My flat stomach and my fat arms and my fat legs made her uncomfortable. The fact that I was a nurse made her uncomfortable. The fact that she assumes, or she wants you to assume, that I'm homeless and I live in my car, even though the people in my hometown see me go home to my home every single day of my life. Every day. Right? She assumed through the whole video that I didn't have a home. That I was homeless. And she wanted low vibrational people, because the only people that would believe what she was saying would be those that are like her.
Yeah, Elon Musk has got nothing to do with this. We're talking about Vanessa. And I know anybody can say they have a disease or whatever. I'm pretty sure Elon can probably back his up. But can she?
And it's like in the videos that I said before that video occurred last night. We cannot concern ourselves with people like them. Those are not the people that are going to help this universe. Those are the people that actually are working against the efforts of the good people that vibrate very much higher. She even tried using that. She even tried saying, you are low vibrational. Well, you're demonstrating how low vibrational you are. And by me not interacting with you in the same way that you're interacting with me, other than pointing out the things that I think are very interesting about, your face, I wasn't demonstrating low vibrational qualities. In fact, I was letting it just happen. And not everybody, a lot of people, even a lot of people that have haters that come to their page, they immediately block. I like the ones that are kind of weak haters, because that's not really, if I put every single hater on display, it's kind of going to take away from when I actually put on display the most vicious ones. So that's why I choose to block the ones that are like, very weak haters. And whenever I see one that's especially, and you'll see my mind, you'll see it last night. You see me thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay. Let's bring your life. I knew what she was going to do is what she was going to do. It was so predictable.
Right. I'm not buying any of this because it's such a load of crap. So that's how she's going to do this. Okay.
And it's exactly what happened. And it takes a human being that has been surviving all this, that is strong enough to let it happen, because most people would not let that happen. Most people would be too embarrassed of everything that they were saying. But I know that I'm strong enough, and I believe in the silent majority. The people that make up the majority of the humans that are watching all of this are not the ones that hate like her. Those are just the louder ones. They're actually a fraction of the people that are actually watching. And even as you were watching, there was moments in which she was saying things like, everybody that's tuning in is laughing at you, when I was surprised that there was hardly any laughing emojis. Hardly any. Because what she was saying was untrue. Because if what she was saying was true, then we would have seen a wave of yellow, and there was nothing. People were just watching.
Yeah, they were watching. They were going, They were, everything was happening too fast for anybody to start hitting emojis. They were just, damn. And I'm sorry, she can spin it any way she wants to try to spin it. She's just full of it. I mean, let her finish.
They were just watching. So it wasn't true. And I want to thank her husband, because if you notice, especially whenever that one song that I really, really liked came on, she was angry. And there was at one point where she said, "This is my house. I get to do what I want." And the reason she was saying that was because her husband was trying to get her to get off the live. In as much as she wanted all of us to believe that she had the support of her husband, it was quite clear that every single person in that home was not a willing participant. In fact, they were doing everything they could, and they were demonstrating everything that an unwilling participant would be demonstrating. It was quite clear. Nobody wanted to even acknowledge that they were on camera. Nobody did. No one did.
So, who's trying to outsmart her? I'm not trying to outsmart her. How do you believe what she says when right after her beating, she showed the reason? I played that video before. The reason this happened to me, she's holding her iPad. The reason this happened to me is this. And she showed her the disfigured face. And she said, the reason this happened is this. And she's talking about the jealous new girlfriend of her ex. And she said that a bunch of times. And then everything switches to, John Allen conspired with Ophelia and Frank to have me beat up. When she said herself, "Oh, this happened because of this, the jealous new girlfriend of my ex, because my name is tattooed on his back or his chest or whatever." I mean, that's there from her own mouth. So how am I trying to outsmart her? I don't have to. She did it herself. She did it herself. Why do you people choose to ignore what she said back then and just go with right now with this conspiracy theory of hers? I don't know. I mean, sound like a bunch of screaming liberals who just want to ignore certain things and only believe other crap. Sorry, don't mean to get political on here. I take that back. Just a bunch of airheads who won't believe stuff that is factual, that she said herself. And now, just because she doesn't like John Allen, she has to build this whole conspiracy around him and hate him.
Thank you. I love you. Yeah, thank you, Marcy. Well, there's laughing emojis right now. Thank you so much, because this is a video that I do want to be pushed. I mean, I don't need help with the kind of video that was showing last night, because obviously just by the content itself, look, they stopped the minute that I start making sense. The video that was last night didn't need, the content itself was enough to push it through the algorithm, right? Right now's video will be helped a whole lot by, yeah, thank you, showing some love or showing laugh or showing anger. Whatever it is, just show it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because right now we don't have a hater that's getting everybody's attention here. We don't. So yes, haters, if you're watching right now, then please show me how angry you are. Let me know how you feel about me. Please do that. It doesn't matter to me, because of course, obviously, you're just making my point, right? Thank you.
It's a lot of what
Claudia, what happened last night was some lady came out.
Annette Gonzalez likes to use the term word salad. And that's all this is, word salad. She's just throwing stuff out there. I think she believes her audience is so dumb. And she really believes that. I'm sorry to say, maybe they are.
At me, and she came at me fiercely and furiously in her own mind.
Last night, yeah.
I was pretty much unmoved, which I still am right now. And she incriminated herself, I think about 3 or 4 times. That's when her husband was trying to really get her off, because I think her husband realized, like, you just did something that's considered criminal. Both you and her both live in the same state. If that Vanessa Tijerina wanted to drive over here and press charges, she could. And it seems to me like unless the law enforcement in her community share the same kind of values that she does, she probably has. I bet you that lady had more than one people call the police on her. There's no way that level of violence and that level of hate that she was showing, there is no way that I will ever believe that woman has gone her whole life being a sweetheart.
She didn't show violence. She pretty much attacked you verbally the way you attack people every day. Every day. This time you just let her do it. And you let her do it. You invited her. She didn't infiltrate your life. You invited her. And you could have hung up. But you didn't. You let her say what she had to say. Take that to the judge. What's he going to say? Why didn't you hang up? Well, why didn't you hang up? Well,
I don't think so. I feel that kind of human had a trail with victims. Yeah. And even if she was not sober, I think that we should realize that a lot of these people who choose to show themselves. One second.
She has to move. She's in the middle of a parking lot.
On social media, not sober. What have we always known? People will pretend to be a certain kind of human being, and then when they are not sober, their real selves come out. That was her real self. That was her real self. Because I know many of you have known good people that have had one too many to drink, and they do not become that way. They don't become that way. Right?
Everybody's different. Nobody's the same.
So,
and I said this, and I think I wrote it earlier. Take out all the cussing and all the bad words and all that stuff. Everything was factual. All of it was truth. And it's funny how if we try to edit that video to delete, all the expletives and the bad words and stuff, that's pretty funny. I'd hate to do that. But take away all that stuff, what are you left with? The raw truth. Last night, she didn't lie. She didn't make anything up. She said things that are factual. She didn't she didn't lie. She didn't embellish. It's all factual.
Yeah, it's the one from last night. It's the one from last night. So yeah, one more time, don't listen to, it's up to you all, right? But those are not that's not the kind of energy that I want on this page.
Of course not.
People need to be really, really careful when posed with the opportunity to believe or not believe a man or woman that hates another woman and tries to destroy another woman. And I'm going to repeat it again. It is because most likely that is a man that could never have her or can never be as strong as her. And that is a woman that could never be her that is going to be doing that to a woman.
I don't know where she thinks people want to be her. Maybe her own little peanut gallery. They all want to be like her for some reason. You go, girl. That's funny.
There's a high likelihood. Thank you, Marcy, for noticing that. She says, even as you were watching, there was a moment in which she was saying things like, everybody that's tuning in is laughing at you, when I was surprised that there was hardly any laughing. And you know what? Whenever she said that, I was hoping, I'm hoping that right now that she said that, I'm hoping that people are bright enough to realize that there was no laughing emojis. None.
And we're hoping people are bright enough that watch you, who can see through all your bull crap. And none of them fact check her. None of them. Nobody fact checks her on her page over there. Because she will not allow that. I'll bet if somebody asks, what happened on Christmas Eve? Oh, you must be a hater. You're a silent hater. What does she call them? Not a silent hater. She called him something. You're a hater. You're hate watching, and she'll get rid of you. What? They're guaranteed. Guarantee she will.
Not even the haters were sending laughing emojis. Not even the haters.
Yeah, because they were entertained. They were watching a masterpiece. They were.
There was none. The live video is there. So. Yeah, because what she was saying was untrue. Yep, that's right.
Because what she was saying was true.
That's right. Thank you. And I really did not hear her at one point. I really didn't.
Right.
I was like, why can't I hear her?
Because you turned the volume down.
It wasn't only because everything, I kind of I don't know if the car was not making that much noise, and then all of a sudden I kind of heard that I couldn't really articulate I couldn't hear the enunciation. I just knew that she was talking on it because I saw her voice moving, and I saw that that the noise that I was hearing was going.
You saw her voice moving. That's pretty cool. How do you see somebody's voice moving?
Was talking on it because I saw her voice moving, and I saw that that the noise that I was hearing was going along with how her mouth was moving. That's the only reason I knew that I could kind of see her. Oh, I know. And she was stating that she was a nurse, and I'm sorry, but that level of hate from a human being is very, very, very scary whenever you think about, because she wants us to believe that she's a nurse, and if she is a nurse, the fact that she demonstrates that much fury, that much instability, that much hate, that much rancor, that much rage, that's very scary when you're a patient and you're vulnerable in front of.
What's scary is that at some point you would take care of people. That's scary. That's scary. That's Halloween scary.
Her. And there was moments where she was getting after her husband, saying, you need to report her. You need to report her. You need to report her music. You need to report this and that. And there was even one point where she told her husband, why aren't you on here defending me? Well, he wasn't doing it because he was an unwilling participant. There was nothing that he could do. You basically know you actually did say, this is my house, when he was trying to tell you should probably get off.
Dude was watching.
This is my house. I do what I want.
He was watching the whole thing.
He didn't want you doing what you were doing because what you were doing was evil.
I'm sure he doesn't know the situation. He didn't want to participate.
You were forcing them to look like if they were participants, but the smarter people amongst society are going to see that those people were actually unwilling participants. They didn't want to look at the camera.
Because they were kids. They were watching TV. They were there relaxing.
I can just imagine. Yeah, she used the N-word. No, that lady was very, very, very much ghetto. And the thing is that ghetto is not a problem until you started trying to affect other people. And like I said, there is no way. I'm surprised. I'm going to leave it just.
Ghetto is not a problem until you start to try affecting other people. Got to figure that one out.
A couple of weeks, maybe even days, before people start inboxing me and letting me know, this lady has done this to my life, this lady has done this to my life, this lady has done this to my life. It won't be long. It won't be long before that happens, because no one is going to convince me that this woman does not have a trail of victims her entire life. Exactly, Isabel. That poor man wanted nothing to do with that shit. Nothing to do with that shit. And you know, if he was watching, then he saw me say, your wife is a Rasputia. And the thing is, you know, there is no way that you can live with that for as long as you have. And there's men that will stay with women that are like that because, hey, it's better living here than at my mom's house, or it's better than living here and struggling. I mean, shit, if she's yelling at you and not yelling at me, you know, that's okay. But, you know, I can't have her in jail, though, either, because who's going to pay for this house, right? You know? Right? No, you could tell. You could tell. And also, what else I noticed is that every single person that she had in the frame, it's like, I got the impression, like, that she does this all the time. Like, that's why they weren't surprised, like, well, here she is again, she's at it again. Like, I was just another person she was doing it to.
Reading. What are you reading?
I know, you know, she wanted to rise out of me, but the thing is that she didn't know, I don't think she understood the human being with who she was trying to affect. It's me. First of all, it's me. I've dealt with I've dealt with a million of you. Like, you are just a version of the worst of the kind that I've already dealt with. There's nothing that came out of her mouth that had not already come out of the hate pages, that is not propagated by the hate pages. In fact, you can tell that she found me on the hate pages because she was repeating all of the nonsense that the hate pages were repeating. And all I can hope and pray for is that when my story is told, everybody's going to understand that every single thing that happened to me was an injustice. Everything that she was stating to try to put me down was something that should have never occurred to me. It's things that should have never occurred to anybody at all. Everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Because things that have happened to me in this state of Texas, in my state of Texas, are things that never happen even to the worst of individuals. Ever.
Oh yeah, this never happens anywhere else, ever, to anybody, period. Only to you. Nobody's ever been in this situation before. Nobody's ever been like you, lying about stuff. And nobody's ever gone live or on a phone call to attack somebody or to tell them like it is. Yeah, nobody. It doesn't happen to anybody. Never. In the history of the world. Only to you. Okay, I get it.
Never. But because it's me, it happened. And of course, the people that have, created these hate pages to make everybody, hate me as much as they hate me, sometimes find very evil people and attract every people like the one from last night. And that's how I knew that she had found me on a hate page, because she was repeating all of the nonsense that the hate page has out there to assassinate my character. Right? Thank you. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling okay. I know that I still have a lot of things that I'm going to have to deal with. I know that I'm still in the thick of it. But before these 8 years, I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. None. I didn't. Especially when I was losing everything that I loved, everything. Because everything that was being taken away from me was being taken away from me to try to break me, to try to force me to silence, to try to get me to not survive, to try to get me to not utilize democracy, to try to get me to not utilize my First Amendment right, just to try to get me just to not exist, right?
She's got to believe that shit. She's got to believe that. Everybody's out to get her. Isn't it sad to have to live like that and be like that every day? Can you imagine how exhausting that is? And almost to a point where I think, and I said this before, I think she would prefer that everyone hate her. I think when she sees somebody a hater, a hater. I think she likes it. I think she enjoys it. I really think it does something for her. Twisted and demented, definitely. But it does something for her in a weird way. And I honestly, truly believe she gets off on it. Like, it excites her. She needs that. She needs, why? I don't know. She needs, maybe a psychologist can answer this crap. She needs people to hate her for her to survive. She's got, put it together.
Everything that everybody in power did, everything that everybody, that runs hate page, everybody, right? But now it's different, because even though I'm still in the thick of it, now I see a light at the end of the tunnel, because now the hope that had been depleted is now there again. Right? So,
remember, you got to remember, a lot of this that she's talking, even though seemingly she's talking to somebody, her people viewers, her people watching her, she's really talking to herself. This is all about she has to motivate herself somehow. She has to give herself a motivational speech of some kind. And that's what she needs. That's why she keeps doing it. And that's why she keeps when she's done, she'll go, right, right. She's asking herself, right? It's a constant motivational speech, pep talk, a constant. And her mind, her mentality is now trained that way, where she needs that. That's another addiction. She needs that. Imagine how exhausting that is.
I just hope that man, I hope that no other human ever goes through what I went through, ever. But unfortunately, I think we know how things happen, and stories like mine are cautionary tales, and they wind up turning into cautionary tales, and they wind up being beacons of light for people who are going through even one of the many things that I'm going through. And it's sad that I know that somebody's going to be watching my story. It's bittersweet. It's bitter because if they're watching it, it's because they're going through it. And nobody should go through anything that I went through. But it's sweet because it will impart hope in them. And be like, I may not have gone through everything that she went through, but if she could survive all of those things, I can survive the one thing that me and her have in common. Right? Thank you. Hey, Victoria Reyes Cruz says the justice system is not always justice. Unless you have been a victim of it, you will never understand exactly. And unfortunately, I think that one last night has never actually had to deal with law enforcement. That's why she feels so empowered.
Because she's normal. That's why. She's normal. Like most people are. Very, very generally speaking. But most people stay away from getting in trouble with the law. Most people don't have 12 arrests in a matter of 2 or 3 years. Some people don't have that in a lifetime. Some people don't have 12 arrests for an entire generation of family, over decades. So how you get a dozen and are proud of that somehow? You know, and yes, the reality is, like her or dislike her, people here, people on her page, everybody's going to see it differently. Everybody's going to see her differently. You might even not like her, but you might feel bad for what happened. And for a while, I did too. I was like, oh, damn, nobody deserved that kind of beating. But then the more and more and more I think about it, the more and more you just think things out logically. And I'm putting in a request to someone for that initial police report, because I swear they said it was only a few minutes, not 3 hours. I can't imagine a beating for 3 hours without any broken bones or fractures or more blood than there. I just don't see it. But is it normal to sympathize? To some extent. I think it's mental illness, to be honest. Yep. Oh, that movie. What was the name of that movie? What was that? What was the name of that J-Lo movie? Mother? Anybody see Mother? Did anyone see that J-Lo movie called Mother? We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's wrap this up. There's only, I don't know, 5 minutes left or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I think she feels so empowered. But no, I think it did its job. It did its job, and I don't know. I may or may not take it down, because every time I take it down, they assume that it took it down like for good, and the hate pages then try to like twist it around, and that's when I take the advantage. I use that. I know that they're gonna do that, and then I use it as an advantage, because then I bring up the video again to disprove the thing that they were trying to say, and that's why I do some of the things that I do, because of those reasons. Sometimes I know exactly how the hate operates, because many times they're very, very predictable, and in order for me to discredit them, I have to allow them to just be themselves. And
oh, she has to allow them to be themselves. Okay. Vanessa, you are so very predictable. That's not even funny. If you want to talk about who's predictable, most of us here can watch pick a show at random and know how it's going to go. I know she doesn't like to call her program shows. She just calls them lives. It's because it's not a show. Even though one time she said that she is the show. I swear she said that.
And utilize what I already had in mind to prove just how untrustworthy those hate pages are. That's all they can do. That's all they can do. I love you, Yvette. You're right. She says the only thing that she accomplished was you getting you stronger and stronger every day against this bitter, hateful people. Thank you. So yes, for everybody that thinks that the people that hate her, it's because they had a personal thing. No, I'm antisocial. No. These are just people that have seen me survive online and that have begun to hate me. Right? But it's like, and I'll share that after this. When people start to hate you, they start to group up. And when they have to group together to hate you, that is how strong you are. Because they had to group up. And then when you see people from the community, people from law enforcement, people from outside, all of them grouping up, then you know that is how strong you are. Because they can't. They can't on their own. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Okay? Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay? Thank you. Bye.
And there you go. So it's going to wrap up a little bit here. It's not going to be a long night because I'm tired. Just want to go lay down. Don't know. The pre-trial hearing is on November 9th, and then the 13th and the 14th are when court is in Cameron County for her food stamp fraud. So during the day, actually this morning, I woke up to a message that said requesting that the video be taken down. And I really thought about it all day long. I try to weigh the pros and cons of doing so, and I know a lot of you were commenting with her. I mean, she did say she woke up and she felt different about it. And then a lot of you were, showing support. Because I don't know if she was or wasn't getting hate or being bothered or being bullied by Vanessa's people. It's so funny. People that don't even know her do stuff like that. Anyway, for now, I'm not gonna take it down right now. I think for a lot of people, it's important for that to be up there. And I mean, may I change my mind in the future, possibly, but for now, I'm gonna just leave it, let it be. And to be totally honest, I think it's out there in a few different places. So, I mean, it's there, right? They say once you put something on the internet, it's there forever. We'll see if she's got anything else to say, because I can't believe that she will not have anything to say. I think I don't know. She might watch it again. She might have been with us tonight watching that comment from that person you guys saw a little while ago. It's one of her aliases, because she has many, and minions too. She had many minions also. So, everyone, thank you for being here. Have a great week. Tomorrow it'll be an earlier show, something like 7:00, maybe 8, something like that. And I will see y'all then. Maybe even if I do it early enough, maybe we can get Bam in here and have a little fun. Have a great night, everyone. Again, thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. Have a good night.